What is up everyone, Mark here, welcome back to my channel, welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to be ranking my top 7 songs for MGP Heat 1. And these are going to be my first reactions, I just listened to each of these songs. Let's get into my number 7 spot, which is Rasmus Thall, Tresko. From the snippet that we got last week, I thought this song was going to be something with very generic electronic elements, something that wasn't super good or super bad. I think I gave this song an 8 out of 10 last time, and it unfortunately has dropped a bit since then. Hearing the full version was a bit of a disappointment for me just because this song uses a lot of elements that I ended up not liking so much, like the use of air horns, for instance, I really just didn't like. And I just feel like the whole electronic sound plus the air horns didn't really come together for me. So this song was really a bit of a letdown, and even though my expectations weren't super high for this song, I still was kind of sad that it didn't wow me, because a lot of the songs that are in this heat did actually impress me hearing them in full, but this song was not one of them. This song for me went from an 8 out of 10 to, I would say, a 5 out of 10. This song still has a chance to grow on me, that's why I'm not giving it like a super low score, like a 3 or a 4 out of 10. It can really go either way for me once we see the live performance. This song will either grow on me and become a 6 or 7 out of 10, maybe even higher, or will sink to the very bottom of my list for MGP. So that's kind of all I have to say about this song. It's pretty decent overall, but it just really is not for me. In any case, let's move on to my number 6 spot, which is Wave. Now this is a nice acoustic track, but like in my previous ranking video for MGP, this still really is not my thing. To me, it's just a very basic song. It sounds like something you would have heard in 2010 or 2011. It feels very dated to me, but the voice is pretty good, so I don't want to knock it down too much. The song itself, again, really is not for me, but this guy does have a pretty good voice, and I do want to give him credit for that. So for me, this is going to get a 6 out of 10. It's not as low as I had it the first time I ranked it. I think the first time I ranked it, it was a 5 out of 10. So this song did kind of grow on me just a little bit, but I still want to see the live performance before ranking this any higher, just because I feel like the song itself, again, just is not my cup of tea, and just isn't the kind of song that I would listen to again and again. So I feel like 6 out of 10 is a pretty good spot to give it for now, but I still think it can grow on me once we see it live. So with that, let's move on to my number 5 spot, which is Freaky for the Weekend. And this was a song that I wasn't too sure about when hearing the snippet. I thought that it was a little bit unique, right? Like it has that kind of interesting electronic sort of sound to it, but I didn't mind it as much as the EDM sounds in Tresko. And I kind of liked that this song was doing something a little bit different. It was kind of campy, and judging off the photo of these two artists, I could tell that this was going to be a pretty unique performance. So I did kind of give this some benefit of the doubt, and I'm happy to say that this song was a song that I liked more than I expected to. Hearing the full song actually made me like it a little bit more. Not too much more, the song still isn't totally my thing, but the song is actually really fun, and I was able to get into it, so I do give them a lot of credit for that. The song is one that I have revisited a couple times since first listen. I feel like this is a song that I can turn my brain off and listen to, like after a long day or after a long day of work, looking forward to the weekend. This is the kind of song that I would put on. Not the kind of song I think should win MGP, or not the kind of song that I want to see Norway send to Eurovision, but still a pretty good and fun song in its own right that I will give a 7.5 out of 10. I give this a 7 out of 10 last time, and this song, like I said, has grown on me just a little bit, so I feel like 7.5 out of 10 is a pretty good spot to give this one. So with that, let's move on to my number 4 spot, which is Tårer i Paradis, which I really hope I'm pronouncing correctly, which translates from Norwegian to Tears in Paradise. And this is another song that I actually ended up liking more than I thought. Kate has a really lovely voice, and like I mentioned in my last video, I love that this song is sung all in Norwegian. The song really stands out for me for that reason. I think it's lovely to have a nice Norwegian ballad, and I'm really glad that this song is on Spotify, because this is the kind of song that really will relax you after a long day. It's just really soothing and really nice, and again, lovely voice, lovely language, and just a great song all around. I will say though, the only kind of thing that prevents me from putting the song higher is that it took a while to grow on me, just because it is a little slow, and like I mentioned, I don't know if it's the ADHD or what, but I've never been too much of a fan of slow songs, and of course there are slow songs that I really like, and this is one of them. Overall, I really like this one, even though it is a little slow for my taste, and for me, this is going to get a 9 out of 10, and I hope it does well in Heat 1. So with that, let's move on to my top 3, starting with my number 3 spot, which is... And this song is very K-pop. I guess that's the best way to put it. This song definitely sounds like a K-pop song, so yes, maybe it's not the most unique, but I actually really like it. It had a solid chorus, it had a great beat, and it had a nice rap, and I'm a person that actually does enjoy K-pop. I used to be a big fan of it back in the day, and so hearing a song like this now in MGP is actually really exciting for me. I also want to say the choreo looks really good. I was watching the behind the scenes video, and yeah, that choreo looks great. Now we don't see the full thing, and I don't want to make any judgments because I don't know kind of what order these dance moves go in, but it looks really promising to me. It really does, and I think this has a ton of potential on stage. If they perform this well, if the vocals are on point, if the choreo is on point, this can do really well. I'm not sure if this would win MGP, but I can definitely see this qualifying from Heat 1, and yeah, I just like it a lot. I think this is a lot of fun, and pretty underrated in my opinion, just given what I've seen from other people's rankings. So for me, this song gets another 9 out of 10. I think it is really strong, and it has a really good shot at doing well in MGP. So with that, let's move on to my number 2 spot, which is Queen of Kings, and this is super close to my top 1. It was really hard to choose which song I liked more, more. You probably can guess what my number 1 is now, but I love that this song sounds a lot like Run From The Hills from Melodi Festivalen. That's probably the number 1 pro I have for this song, and the song overall is just a lot of fun to listen to. It is very fast paced, and I just love the vocals and the beat throughout. It is a song that I will keep coming back to, and one that I definitely will add to my playlist as soon as Alessandra puts this on Spotify, which I hope is soon, and I just like it a lot. I will say though that ironically, one of the things that I don't like about this song is also that it sounds a lot like Run to the Hills. Now, I love Run to the Hills, and that was one of my favorite songs from Melfest, but I feel like this song in my head keeps getting compared to that song, and it just kind of sours the experience of listening to it. I just feel like for me, they're a little bit too similar, and that kind of detracts from how unique this song is for me. Hey, so this is Editing Mark here, and I have some extra comments about this song now that I listened to it a couple times. The first thing I want to say is that this song was actually much better than I thought it was going to be based on the snippet. The snippet made it sound like a clone of Run to the Hills, and this song, while it is very similar to Run to the Hills, is not so similar that it feels like a copy. This song definitely stands on its own 2 feet. However, I will say the chorus, yes, does sound very much like Run to the Hills. I think they almost sound identical in their just sort of chord progression. Still a really good song. Again, much more impressive to me hearing the full thing than just hearing the snippet, but there are some things that I have criticisms for after hearing the song a couple more times, and one of those is the song kind of feels a little bit incomplete, and I wondered why that was until I saw the runtime. The song is only 2 minutes and 30 seconds, give or take, and I really think that there is a lot of room to extend this song, to really build up towards that last chorus that I think would make it much stronger. Now, the song is still very strong, and I love the atmosphere the song creates, but that is just one thing I really had to note, and one of the big differentiators between this song and my number 1. My number 1 song feels a lot more complete to me, and that's a big part of why I ranked it above Queen of Kings, but again, I do have to add the disclaimer that I do love this song a lot. I think they are almost an equal footing for me, if not for those little things, and I think that Queen of the Kings, if it's staged well, if it's done well live, might even overtake, honestly, as my winner for Heat 1, and possibly the winner for Heat 1 and of MGP. Again, these are so close. So for me, this song gets a 9.5 out of 10, near perfection, minus some very small critiques that I have for it. So with that, let's move on to my number 1 spot, which is...
Honestly,
Now this is a fantastic song. It is a great song with a powerful voice. I love the inclusion of Norwegian towards the end. This is definitely going to be a song I sing at 3 a.m. I just have a lot of great things to say about this song. It has a ton of elements that I really enjoy, like the vocals, like the soaring instrumental, like the high note at the end, the backing vocals towards the second half of the song. I think I heard 2 big high notes towards the end, and I loved that a lot. And again, just the use of Norwegian really surprised me and just made me like the song so much more. Just everything about it really comes together really well. Ulrikke really did well with this one. This is exactly what I hoped for and more from her return, and I am almost certain that she will win this heat, or at least go to the final and potentially go to Eurovision and give Norway at least a top 10 position. This song is simply phenomenal. I love listening to it. I've listened to it at least 5 times already. The full song is for me so much better than the snippet that I just have to give this a 10 out of 10. This song just really speaks to me on a personal level. I think this song is one that a lot of people can resonate with as well, having lost people that we love, and it is a song that I just feel is so powerful both in meaning and musically. So that is why honestly is my number 1 for MGP Heat 1. I am really excited to see how all of these songs are performed live. I have very high expectations for MGP. It was amazing last year, and I have no doubt that it will be amazing again. So with that, let me know what you think about this video. Let me know what you think about the 7 songs for Heat 1, which songs you want to see win, which songs are your favorites. I really want to hear what you have to say down below. This was a really fun video to make, talking about these songs, listening to these songs, and I just really want to hear what you have to say. Let's start a discussion down below. And yeah, with that, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate all of your likes, comments, subscriptions, and support, and I will see you all next time. Peace.